everyone, welcome to our little sliver of the internet. So glad you could join us today. We've got a review of a film I've been trying to review for quite some time. I just, for some reason, haven't gotten to it till today. Sorry for the lateness of it, but we are looking at The Black Mass. Yes, The Black Mass from director Devany Pinn. Yes, a familiar name here on the final cut. We get The Black Mass telling the story of a serial killer who, it's told from their perspective as we follow the last 24 hours of their life before they were caught. And we see how this killer stalks his victims, how he interacts with them beforehand, how he has kind of this normal life when he's not being a creeper, and all of that is told from his perspective in the 70s in Florida. And this film was creepy, was an interesting exploration into the mind of a serial killer, and Devany Pinn just really showing that she has talent not only in front of the camera but behind the camera in creating this very riveting story that you never leave the serial killer's shoulder, and it gives you this just eerie feeling. Yes, we had was it Violent in Nature, where you followed the slasher, but that was, supernatural kind of slashing. Here we've got a serial killer, so you've got more human interaction going on, you've got more layers to this character, and all of that is not only thanks to the writing and direction of Devany Pinn, but also of Jeremy London, who plays Patrick, our killer, who we're following through this day. And man, it's weird because it's putting you in, you're like at the screen going, this is unnerving because you're being put in the place. You are the serial killer and it never lets up. You have this consistent creepiness that just gets more and more creepy. And then when you get to his actual acts of violence, they're brutal. And you're wanting to help, but you feel helpless. And it surprised me just how much of an emotional reaction I got from this, just from telling this story from the Patrick character perspective. And Jeremy London plays this perfectly, just the way you want it. Now, the rest of this cast in here does excellent as well. We've got Kathleen Kinmont as Brenda and Jennifer Wagner as Nancy. Loved their performances. Devany Pinn doing her Alfred Hitchcock and playing one of the more interesting scenes as Kelly King in here. We even get a Mike Ferguson appearance as Big Stan, and Eileen Dietz shows up as Dorothy. So you have a really wonderful a group of talented individuals, and the period that they manage to capture, they do it well. Indie films have a hard time capturing the period they're in sometimes when they're doing period pieces, but not in here. Not only in the clothing and the cars and the dialogue and all of that, but also with the color grading and the way the film looks. It feels like it's from that time period as well. You hear the hype sometimes for some of these indie films and just how good they are, but I really dug this movie and kicked myself for not watching and reviewing it sooner. And again, it was on the stack, and I apologize for that. Now, the Blu-ray itself doesn't have a whole lot to it. It does have a trailer for the film, as well as other trailers from Cleopatra, as well as an image slideshow, which takes me back to the early days of DVD and Blu-ray. And I love that. I loved the image slideshow in here as well. So, folks, The Black Mass is worth a watch if you like your gritty kind of homage to those 70s films, and having the story told from the perspective of the serial killer really skews the way you see the story and puts you in an uncomfortable position. And I think Pinn is successful with that. I think the only thing I may have had a slight bit of issue is with the very end, the way it was handled. But that was just a personal taste, the kind of the final shots with our characters. So outside of that, yeah, folks, if you haven't seen it, check it out. Check out the Blu-ray. It looks beautiful, or on streaming, wherever you can get it. I highly recommend it. It lived up to the hype, and I am glad I got to watch it. So, and if you've seen The Black Mask, please let me know what your thoughts were on this film. Don't forget to subscribe, like, bells and whistles, and all that so you don't miss all our great content coming up here. And check out our Patreon as well, where you can get access to even more, literally hundreds of exclusive episodes and content there. I thank you for your support, and until next time, remember, keep that ticket stub.